Hi everyone, I am Angelina Monte, and today we are doing District 14 Conversations. I am a publisher of a local magazine, and I also sit on the board for West Coast Makers, which is a nonprofit and both businesses are run out of District 14. Today we are here with congressional candidate Sheriene Ridenour.
Hello.
Hello. Today, we are sitting down with congressional candidate Sheriene Ridenour.
Hello.
Hello. We are so excited to have you here today. We're going to be talking about why you're running, the challenges facing District 14, and what you hope to accomplish if elected.
Okay. Well,
So tell us a little about yourself. And my first official question will be, why are you running for Congress?
okay. Well, first, thank you for having me. I'm the one excited to be here, and I really appreciate the opportunity because as a grassroots campaign, a lot of people and journalists are not giving me the platform to allow voters to be informed when they're at the ballot. So thank you very much.
Well, here you are, girl.
Yes,
Here you are.
indeed.
Tell us everything.
All right. Well, as to why I'm running, so I have lived in District 14 for over 40 years. Like, this is my home. I was
your
an
home.
elementary student here, you know what I mean? And I've seen the struggles. I've lived the struggles as being raised by a single mother who left an abusive marriage. Like, I know what it's like to see past due bills on the table and to see a parent just be exhausted when they get home, but still help you with the homework and all that, trying to get you to have your education. And I've also seen businesses grow and local businesses thrive, but right now it's in a time that things are hard. And I finally decided, instead of asking why aren't people doing stuff for the people, I would be that person. I feel like the government has lost its focus, which is supposed to be the people, not special interests, not large donors, not themselves. And both parties have greatly lost that focus. And since I've had enough of that, I decided, you know what? I'm going to be the person that does the change rather than waiting for someone else.
I believe that's very powerful.
Thank you.
I believe we need somebody like you desperately.
Thank you very much.
So if we go into some other heavier topics, what is the biggest issue facing District 14 right now?
Oh, absolutely affordability. Like I was saying, like the cost of gas, people are having a hard time driving to work because of the price of gas. So to make a living, they're having a hard time to even go, right? Food. Going to the store and getting just necessities should not have to. I mean, I understand when I grew up, my mom was doing the couponing and like, okay, that we don't need that to this week, next week. But it's gotten to a point where it's happening every time people are going to the grocery store, and that should not be the case. And this is people who are working hard to have a living, to have a family, and it's just no matter what, they just can't catch a break, right?
Yes. I feel that.
Right?
Yes.
And so, you know, for me, it's how do we find a way to make it affordable for people, you know, to live? And, you know, I'm an administrative law judge, but I'm not a millionaire, right? And so I'm funding this whole campaign by myself because I believe in it. And I believe we need to have someone who knows what it's like to be an everyday person in this district. And I have been for over 40 years.
Okay. I love that. Yes, that's a great answer, and definitely I feel people are struggling. I've been in the grocery store recently and seen families sitting there going over which items they can actually buy. And, you know, the little kids don't get it.
Yeah.
And the mom is working 3 jobs, and Sunday night is her only time off to get that food. And I definitely see the struggle, and luckily I have adult kids, but I have seen issues in my friends with daycare, and I mean, that's like $3,000 a month. Like, it's insane.
The costs, sorry to interrupt, the costs just keep piling, and it's not even like extravagant things. It's just things to survive.
Gas.
And as for, gas. And as for kids, I remember like wanting something and having to hear mom say, we can't afford it, and not understanding that. And kids shouldn't have to be put in a position where they will eventually learn and understand that still as a child.
Yes.
And it breaks my heart to see what is happening to our district and to know that the politicians are just so focused on things that will help the high donors, the parties themselves, and they are just not doing what they're supposed to do, which is represent the people and fight for them and be transparent and accountable.
Yes.
So
Honestly, it's very exciting. Somebody who's very much a believer in nonprofits and community, and building our own areas for people to make money, for vendors to come, for them to make a living on their second or third job of the week. It's very empowering to see somebody like you come in and have something to say for us, to help us, to stand up for us, to be for the people. Because from somebody who's not in politics, that is the whole base of it, right? It should be for the people.
Right. And I'm not into politics either. Even though I'm running for a political position, I'm not a career politician, right? And I'm doing this just for that reason, for the people. Like, I have just dived into this deep end of political waters and am trying to navigate it the best I can for the people. And like every day, I'm doing like 14, 16-hour days, going out to various parts of the district. I can't tell you how many miles I put on my car, but I'm going out there to meet people and talk to them and ask them, like, what is it that would help you? What do you want? Not what does the party want? And when you hear me speak, it's because it's coming from me. I don't have a campaign team. I don't have any experts that are giving me talking points and doing research on things. I'm doing the research.
Yes.
I'm the one who's, what you hear from me is me. And I think that's also greatly missing from a lot of candidates. I feel like a lot of them become, puppets or just, microphones for the parties.
Yes.
Or the high donors they have, none of which is in my circle, nor do I want it to be, because I want to be free to speak freely and to be transparent and to voice concerns that some people may be too shy or intimidated to.
Scared.
Scared.
Scared to say anything.
Because of retribution. And
Yes.
I'm coming out storming.
I love it. I love it so much. Okay. So what are people telling you when you meet them out in the community?
So again, going out and talking with everybody, and I do mean everybody. I'm talking about no matter what political belief, what age, what demographic, what everything, right? And the common theme seems to be that the government is not listening to them. They're talking to them. They're telling them what they do.
They're taking our money.
Yes, they're taking
our money.
and
They're deciding what they're going to do with it.
Right, and telling you what is best for you.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of listening what would be best for you.
Yes.
And, again, across the political spectrum, this is happening, that they don't feel like they are being represented by the actions and decisions of the governments. And so, that's, again, goes back to being for the people as opposed to a party. And I get it. Government is necessary. I'm not anti-government in the least. I mean, I'm a civil servant. I'm a judge.
Yes.
But the link that I feel is missing is, for example, ethics. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Like when I'm on a bench, I hear both sides in a neutral manner. I don't bring my political beliefs. I don't bring my religious beliefs. I don't bring my personal beliefs with me. When I am sitting in front of someone, I am listening to them. I'm hearing their story. I'm looking at the exhibits, looking at the facts, and making a decision based on that. And I'm very ethical, right? And so I think that is missing in government, unfortunately. And transparency. For example, when I write an opinion, I don't just get to say yes or no. I explain it. So
Yes.
people may not appreciate or agree with what I decide as a judge, which I understand. I can't make everyone happy.
No.
But what I can do as a judge and as a congresswoman is explain why. Like why I voted on a particular bill. I want more transparency in that part. I want people to understand a bill, right? They are so nuanced that to read a bill, and I am a judge, and sometimes I get cross-eyed, right? So I want to make that more in layman's term for my people, and then also explain when I vote why I voted what I did, just like a judge. And
Yes.
help them connect the dots to why. They may not like the picture as to why, but they will know why.
They will understand. There'll be a reason.
Yes.
Instead of us feeling like we're just tricked.
Right.
We're just tricked, like with the issues and the different things that come up, different propositions, right? There's media that comes out, and then all of a sudden we found out that's not even the truth. So that was actually just something that they put in our head about this issue. And when you get down to the core reason,
Right.
We're really lacking somebody explaining that to us as well.
It's funny you should
So-
say that. A couple of elections ago, I was talking to my mom about a particular measure that was in front of our ballots, and we were talking, and she was like, oh, I'm going to vote. I forget exactly, but let's say it was a yes, right? And I was like, okay, well, why yes? And she's like, well, X, Y, and Z. And I said, actually, if you want X, Y, and Z, it's no. And so I bought, because I always read the back of the ballot books. I read those bills. I read the spine print. And so I explained to her why, and she's like, and my mother has her master's in epidemiology, right? She was like, what? Like, this is so confusing. And I'm like,
very confusing.
Exactly. And
I think they want us confused.
And they shouldn't be. They're making it as easy and understandable for us as they possibly can, because they're supposed to represent us.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Okay, well, that's also awesome. Have you noticed any other issues from the community, like as far as healthcare or AI? A lot of people are scared about AI. I'm in the community a lot.
Yes.
That's the question I get a lot.
Yes.
What do I think about it? Do I use it? Do we need it?
Yeah, and for healthcare, my mother is disabled. She lives with me. Some days she's fine. Some days she can't get out of bed. I can't tell you how many times I've been in the ER or the hospital with her, and just getting through all the red tape to make sure she has adequate care. And if she didn't have me as an advocate, I just can't imagine.
She'd fall through the cracks.
Precisely. And there's so many people out there that don't have that. They don't
is.
have family that can be their advocate. And so you know what? The Congress people, the government should be their advocate. And that's completely lacking. And it saddens me that this is the situation that we've put our people in for health care.
It's very true. I watch it in my own family as my parents are aging. My mom's had a few brain aneurysms in the past and things like this, and the health is not great. And she's not set up for any help at all. And it's sad. She can't afford anything. She can't afford to fix her car. She can't afford the extra medicine she needs. And, she worked in this district her whole life as well. And now it's like, good luck.
Good luck. Exactly. My
And,
mother worked in this district too. She has her master's, as I mentioned, but at the end of the day, she was a dental hygienist because that's what paid the bills and gave her more flexibility as a single parent. And again, so she struggled and worked tirelessly, and now, like your mom, she can't afford things. She can't. And
If they don't have us, where are they?
Precisely.
Yes.
So.
And I don't want to do that to my kids. I want to set myself up where I'm not something that they have to come and help and fix, right? So
great. And it shouldn't even be on anyone's mind that that's a situation that may be, inherited by their children.
Yes.
Honestly, the government should be the one who's taking care of the people who took care, who worked and just gave their heart and soul and paid into Social Security, paid the taxes, did all these things that they were told to do.
Yes.
And then when it comes to them not being a productive member of society, and it's not even
they give them $1,200 a month.
Right. But it's not even
right.
It's not even the older generation that's being, stripped of just decent health care, right? Like children, people our age, some people, recently I did a post because I had a colonoscopy, right? And I was like, oh my God, this prep procedure it's not fun. We'll put it that way. And then I realized, you know what, Sheriene, you're fortunate. You're fortunate to be able to get this done. A lot of people don't have that ability, and then it's too late.
And then they're in stage 2.
Stage 4. And so, I want people to be able to get that or get their medicine. Insulin should not be, can I afford it?
Yeah.
Right?
No.
That's life sustaining for those people. That shouldn't even be a second thought that they can, if they can get it.
Yes.
It should be like air, if you ask me.
Yes.
So yeah.
We got some work to do.
We most definitely do.
And then circling back to how you feel about AI.
Oh, yes. My apologies.
No.
So, yeah, AI is an interesting situation, right? It's here. It's absolutely here. We can't take it back.
Yep.
It's here. It's like when fire was discovered. It's not going to go anywhere. But that doesn't mean that we should just let it burn everything down, right? Even the first fire was contained.
We need some laws.
We do. And we need regulation. We don't, we need, and that regulation and the laws need to be one that can evolve with technology, because it's going to be constantly evolving, right?
Every day.
Every minute.
Every
it
day.
feels like
Every day. It's
sometimes,
gonna be
right?
changing. Yes.
And so, yeah, definitely don't give it free rein, is my opinion. Let's contain the fire, but let the fire burn in a way that it helps keep people, and yeah, that's what I would think and
Okay.
say.
That was good. Okay. So, why do so many, why do so many people, sorry. Okay. Why do so many hardworking families feel like they're falling behind?
Oh. I know what it feels like to just feel like you're barely keeping your head above water, right?
I want to say that's all of us.
It's so true.
Any day.
You're like, just keep the nostrils above.
Yes.
And it's not because they're not working hard.
Yeah.
And that's what's killing me as a member of this district, is like people are doing multiple jobs. They are trying the best for their family, their children, their spouse, themselves, their parents, and yet they, again, can't catch a break. And they're not asking to live luxuriously or to have a $1 million mansion. They just want a home that they can create memories in and, have a roof over their heads during the weather and feel established and be like, yes, I did this. I have this. And I feel like with the way things are being like the inflation and the housing market, it's stealing their dreams.
It's crazy. I was looking at talking to a friend recently about some rentals out where I live, kind of in the Canyons area, Castro Valley, San Ramon.
Okay.
And the average to move, it's like $20,000 for a rental. I mean, this isn't even a down payment I'm talking about. This is just to rent so your kids can go to school in this district, right? And that is just crazy. I don't know how people can afford that on top of the $1,200 car payment and the $400 two bags of groceries.
Right.
And,
Our utilities.
Our utilities are crazy.
Yeah, it seems like every time you get a bill, it's more than the last month, even if you were more constrained in your use.
Yeah.
It's like, what can I do?
What else can I give?
Right. Like, what else do you want? And I'm even using the utilities less, and yet my bill's higher.
Yep.
And again, I just feel like it's the cost, it's the affordability, it's all this that just feels like it's kind of like the Peanuts cartoon at the little, all the
Yes,
little, it's just like
swirling around.
Yes.
I'm
You
constantly
can't, no matter what, you can't get away from it.
Yes.
And that shouldn't be the case. Like, as the government should be the one who's helping, not hindering. And I
Right.
feel like that is missing.
It is missing. I agree. Well, I think it's clear what makes you different from a typical politician.
Thank you.
But one of my questions here is,
Yes.
what makes you different from a typical politician?
Okay, absolutely. So, not a career politician. Never thought in a million years that I would be running for a political position, let alone Congress. It was just my love and devotion and just angst about what's happening to our people that got me to just, like I said, dive into the deep end. And I'm not a millionaire, right? I don't have millions of dollars to donate to my campaign or costs. I am being so fiscally responsible with this campaign because I've always been fiscally responsible. But for me, it's worth it because of the message I want to give and how I want to help people. And so, I know what the struggles of everyday life is for people. I saw it as a child at home. I see it now as a person who's paying the bills and taking care of, her mother. And I'm hoping that when someone sees my name on the ballot, they see someone who's going to fight for them, who represents them, and isn't just a mouthpiece for a party or a donor.
Or corporate.
Donor.
Donor.
And I haven't had that feeling in a long time as a voter myself. And so rather than waiting for a name to pop up that I feel like gives those attributes, why not it be my name? And I really hope people understand that that's why I'm running.
I love this. It's great.
Thank you.
So education is important to you.
Absolutely.
What changes would you like to see?
Okay, so yes, education is absolutely important to me. Without my academic journey, I wouldn't be where I am today, right? How do I put this? I feel like, again, our government is doing our current generation and future generations a huge disservice by the strips of funding that they're taking.
Cutting.
They're just cutting. It's
They're
like,
cutting.
oh, kids, who needs that? They don't need to learn that. They don't need to know that. No, they do, because education and knowledge is power. Remember when we were younger? Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
Absolutely. And so we are depriving the current and future generations of that. And when I say education, I don't necessarily mean college. It depends on what someone wants to do, right? It could be vocational. It could be trades. We need to be able to have it so people can live their dreams in a way that best fits them and their abilities and their desires, right?
Yes.
And also teachers. I talk to teachers all the time, and they're like, I don't feel like I'm getting support. I'm trying to teach children to be great standing citizens of the next generation. And
On $30,000 a year.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And having to use
Poor
their own money
teachers.
for like supplies.
Pencils.
Yes. And it's just like, it just blows my mind. And I used to be a substitute teacher, actually. So between undergrad and law school, I needed a little break. So I was a substitute teacher here in Castro Valley, pre-K through seniors. Like, talk
Awesome.
about like each morning not knowing when I'm going to have, elementary or high school. Yeah.
That's a big jump.
It is. But it was worth it, and it was great. And to see these kids, like, when they understand something or something finally clicks, and that, like, look of aha, right? And they deserve to have those ahas.
They do.
And we're not giving them to them in a way that they need and deserve. And the teachers are missing out on those ahas, too, because they are actually, stripped of ways to give them that information. And it seems to be this really repetitive cycle of just stripping away the children's knowledge and, growth.
Yeah.
And, loans. I mean, I took out loans having a single mother, tuition
Yes.
was not, so undergrad, law, LLM, I took out loans. And, I always thought of them as like a necessary quote unquote evil, because there was no way I could get my education without them. But with
Yes.
them, I knew I was going to be in debt.
Yep.
Right? I mean, ideally, yes, education would be free. I would love that. Is that feasible right now at this moment? No. Is there ways that we can make changes and put people and everyday people instead of, money makers ahead, so that we can trajectory move things to like a better education at a reasonable price for people? Yes, but that's just going to have to take people who are not tied by the companies that are giving out the loans and everything. These interest rates are ridiculous.
They are ridiculous. It's actually very scary for kids. I have college-age kids myself, and it's like, for you, it was a huge amount, but now it's double to triple that these kids are coming out of school with.
Tuition, and then
It's
on top of
crazy.
that, the interest rate for loans,
Yes.
right? And so what are we telling these students, that they don't deserve an education, or if they're going to have an education, they're going to have a lifetime of debt just because they want to better themselves and their abilities to have jobs or, a profession?
We're setting up people in this district to be overworked and underpaid.
Absolutely.
And then the taxes keep going up and up and up and taking more from us, and we don't have any idea of where our money is actually going.
Precisely. I'm a tax judge for the state of California, administrative law judge. And I think a lot of people come up to me and they're like, oh, you must be pro-tax. Taxes are necessary.
Yes.
With
Agreed.
It pays for things. And as a judge, I am not one to decide whether or not a tax is necessary. I just have the rules and regulations that I have to apply to the facts to know whether or not the tax was applicable. But going back to whether taxes are, if I'm pro-tax, what I am is taxes are necessary, but also transparency as to where I don't even know where my tax money is going.
I know.
I have no idea. And they keep adding it. And it's like, okay, well, what about that tax rate that you just increased? Where does that money going? And so again, it goes to my whole thing about transparency and accountability that's grossly missing in the government.
We're missing accountability big time in the government, and it's making a lot of us in District 14 that I talk to more anti-government
Right.
and scared to vote either way. I'm actually registered no party. because I don't believe any of them.
I mean, a lot of
So
people, yeah.
that's where I would love to have somebody like you, maybe a few of you coming up that we could actually talk to. I've never before you ever spoken to a politician.
Well, thank you. I
And I
appreciate-
have continued to give money out of every single check over the last 35 years of my
Yes,
life.
right.
But I've never had a conversation with anybody. So I appreciate the conversation and
yes.
the transparency from you.
And I want
today.
people, thank you. And like I said, I'm so glad you gave me this platform to give people to be informed voters for whomever they vote for. At least they're informed. And, you know, and going back to political parties, I am on the ballot as a Democrat, right? And so if some people are like, oh, the reason why, if I'm honest, is I was registered as a Democrat since I was age 18, right? And I also wanted to vote in the primaries. So before, you had to be a party to be able to vote in primaries, right? And I just felt it would be almost like a smoke screen mirror thing if all of a sudden I was no party preference and I had been a Democrat, registered as a Democrat. Doesn't mean I was always voting blue either. Yeah. It was the policies that I voted, not the parties. And because I had been a registered Democrat all this time, I thought, you know, I don't want people to think I'm just doing it for this election. I can be a Democrat, a registered Democrat, and still believe that both parties are broken, still believe that both parties are not representing their people, and that both parties, people of non-party preference, Republicans, liberal, Democrats, libertarians, Greek, they all deserve to be heard, and they all deserve to be represented.
Right.
Hence purple.
Hence purple.
Hence purple.
Hence purple, no party.
Yes.
or
You
all
know,
parties.
all parties, everybody.
Let's say it that way, all parties.
All parties.
I like that. I like that. I think that people in our age group are looking for that because our parents were in a very different world, right? Where they were safe to say to their friend, hey, I'm a Republican, you're a Democrat, right? We could have a conversation and the main means of it would be, hey, just vote.
Yes.
We're women, right?
Right.
Vote.
Vote.
That's what the women, our elders told us.
Yes.
You know how hard we work for that vote. Vote.
Yes, absolutely.
Now I feel like this generation doesn't know where to go with their vote. And it's not a safe place to talk about if you're talking to another Democrat or if you're talking to another Republican. That's a safe place, but we don't commingle. We don't mix them because we've got this hate and this block up against each other. And I think that it's beautiful what you're doing with the
Thank
purple
you.
because we need somebody to tear it down and get us back to one government for all.
And that's
so
exactly what I'm
that's
trying
what
to
we're
do.
definitely missing.
You
So
know, yeah, like you said, like I can't remember it verbatim, but you know, Justice Ginsburg said something along the lines is you can disagree, but you don't need to be disagreeable, right? Like not everyone has to agree.
Right.
But you can have dialogue.
Right.
You can have discussions. You can have like, okay, agree to disagree if you get to that point. But at
Yes.
least hear other sides. And, you know, I have family from the Midwest, right? Like I drove a tractor before a car. And a lot of the friends and family that are in that area are very staunch, like don't touch my land, I'm a farmer, you know, all this stuff. And so, and then you talk to environmentalists. And so you just need to hear all stories.
right.
But then what you need to do is get the facts.
Get the facts.
Get the facts.
And make your own decision.
Yes, like I recently went to a talk about District 14 and the housing market and the selling numbers, right?
Yes.
It was a very interesting discussion, and they had all these statistics and data points and everything, and I was just kind of, you know, very much absorbing and listening.
Yes.
And then I went up to the speaker after and I said, well, do you have any numbers as to buyers? Because a lot of people have come up to me and they're like, you know, corporations are buying up all the homes or large
buyers.
cash buyers, or like large investment firms, and they're pushing people out of being able to have their own home. And so I was like, do you have the statistics of the buyers? And, you know, he explained that they didn't because of the Fair Housing Act. And so, you know, but I told him this, like, the reason why I'm asking is because I want to be able to know the truth, the facts when I come back to a constituent about housing. People can say one thing or another, but wherein lies the facts to support it?
Well, we're not getting them. We're
No.
getting media. We're
Yeah.
getting the media that people take for
Right.
facts, and
And-
it's causing us to hate each other.
Right. And as a lawyer and now judge, like to me, it's the facts,
Yep.
right? Even my undergrad was toxicology. You better know the facts of numbers of different chemicals before you did something, right? So
Right.
it goes back to wanting to know the information and and being accountable as a congressperson and allowing my constituents the info, not allowing, but giving them
the info.
Yeah.
Correct info.
Yes, the correct info.
So could you see yourself in the future, as voting goes, could you see yourself kind of taking the time to go over the different things on the ballot and kind of giving us a background and giving us some facts,
Yes.
some real facts about what this really means?
Right.
What does this really mean?
Right. And at least by, as much as I can, right? Because even, like I said, even when with all my legal background and education, I'm still sometimes going cross-eyed when I read a bill, right? So I can, there are there's a lot of professionals out there that are paid to make things confusing.
Yeah.
And so I will try to unwrap that confusion as much as I can, because I believe that, again, that goes to being fully informed.
Right. And that's not based on being blue or red
No.
or purple.
Or-
Those are just the facts.
Just the facts.
And
And people would then.
That's
can just-
refreshing.
Yes, and then people can vote however, like, it's like, not let, but people will then vote however they want.
Yes.
But at least I can then say, the constituents voted this way, fully informed.
Yes. And I can have a conversation with my daughter where I encourage her to tune in, because Judge Ridenour is going to let you know what the facts are on
Yes.
this. And then, you know what, baby girl, you go make your own choice
Yes.
and vote, because
Yes.
it's important.
It's very important. And, as to your daughter, a lot of the younger generation I've talked to are like, I'm intimidated to vote, was one young gentleman told me, or I'm not political. And I just tell them, like, you may not be into politics, but politics are into you.
Yeah.
Right?
Politics are taking your money.
You're a taxpayer,
you get a
you're
check,
a voter,
baby.
and even though you may feel like your vote doesn't count or you're intimidated. And I said to the person who told me he was intimidated, I said, look, I get it. It can be. Again, because bills are convoluted and you don't know. But I said, just start somewhere.
Yep.
And let your voice be told and heard. And someone else said, well, I verge more towards the minorities, so my vote won't count. And what I told that person was like, look, it does, in the fact that, like, if the minority had your opinion, the minorities would never have numbers on the ballot to let people know that what's being passed was disagreeable to some. Mm-hmm. And the more and more people actually vote and you see those numbers, you see a different trajectory of opinions or beliefs. And honestly, that's going to shake up the parties.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, we're losing voters, or they're not liking this, right?
Yes.
So while people may think their vote doesn't count, it does in that respect. It may not get the bill passed or the measure passed that they would hoping was or was not, but at least the statistics are there to
see a trend for a future.
Precisely.
Mm-hmm.
So
I love that. That's great. That's great info. It makes me hopeful. Because, the kids right now are scared, and they're scared to say either way, because it comes with such a hate either way.
Yeah,
and it doesn't need to be. I just wish it would go back to when we were kids and there was a president, and he might not have been a Democrat. He might not have been, your party, but he was still our president.
Right.
We were all working together.
Right. And exactly. And
So-
yes, we were younger, so we probably weren't as involved in the political sphere as our parents were in that respect of, like, whether or not they appreciated a president or his I was going to say his or her actions, but not quite yet her, but his actions. But I don't ever remember a time of such conflict.
Right. Like, it was never like, oh, we can't go over to that house, babe. There are
Yeah.
Republicans over there, or
Right.
whatever.
Or
It
you know what
was
I mean?
never that way. They
Yeah.
were like, well, we're going to talk about it.
And I think also that goes to one person I spoke to at an event spoke about how they felt like both parties have gone so extreme that they just,
So extreme.
they're just like, wait a minute,
It's
like,
crazy.
where can I look?
Because in the meantime, you guys are all crazy and you're still taking all of my money. And here I am in the middle. Like,
Right.
what is going on? What just happened?
Right,
So,
and it's not so much just about taking their money. Like, if you took my money and in a way that allowed me to understand how it's being used and why
Right.
it's being used that way, and showed me the numbers around it, right? Like, where is it going? And let's be fiscally responsible with the money you've already gotten, so that it seems like almost the default is to add taxes rather than to look at the accounting.
right. Right. And that's where your ethics will come in
Yes.
to help us with this as
Yeah.
well.
I'm sure I'm going to make a lot of enemies. I'm sure that both parties and big donors are not going to like what I'm saying. And I understand that, but I'm not here for them. I'm here for the people.
That's really refreshing because the people will rally around you.
I hope so.
And the people are who make this country run.
That's definitely.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. So if elected, what is one thing you would fight for on day one?
Oh, there's so many things.
All the things we've just discussed.
So many things. Absolutely. I think my first would be affordability, because I think that is pretty much an umbrella.
That's an overall issue for everybody.
Precisely. And so, yeah, I would find a way to make gas prices, how much is the the oil coming in, and where's the disconnect between the wholesale price and what it is going to be at the gas stations, or housing? Why is it insurance? Like, these are things that everyday people are having trouble paying. And so, yeah, let's dig in and get to the bottom of this and, make this an issue of, everyday people not being able to afford life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. And like I said, I'm sure I will be making enemies, and I can only imagine the hate I will be getting from the people who are making money. So, like, for this race, just to even get that candidate statement about, that little blip. So I did everything like last minute, because like I just decided I was hemming and hawing, and then I just was like,
I saw that. I saw you jumped on last second. And actually that is refreshing to me too, because I feel like you had a moment where you were like, I can't vote for any of these people.
Yeah, and I did. And so
and here I go.
The last day of voting, last day of filing is when I did all the signatures and did everything and just got it done. And then I got in, and I had to write a check for the blurb.
And this is in the books that we all get in the mail.
Yes,
about you.
Right. And so it's
Okay,
Alameda
so it's
County.
a paragraph.
Yes, a max 250 words, anywhere from 1 to 250 words. It did not matter. It was a flat fee. It was around 16,000.
Wow.
And like, I was like shocked, right? And the work, the employee, he didn't set the price.
No.
And, but like,
And he probably doesn't get any of it either.
I just looked at it, and it's just an estimate. It may be more depending on how many pamphlets are printed.
Oh, wow.
And I just looked at him and I said, wow, this is a great way to cut people off that want to make change.
Fun fact, too, you were not on my mom's pamphlet that came a few weeks back, even though you made that big check. There was nothing there.
No blip?
There wasn't, you weren't there. But then the next one that came, you were.
Oh, the 16th I was.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I told him, I was like, what a way to cut off people at the knees. Like, I just happened to be fortunate enough that I have been squirreling away money slowly but surely to make, renovations of just like the cracks in the walls and all just.
Our District 14 old homes.
Yes. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So like just been squirreling away.
Yep.
And I had to, I talked with my mom and I said, I know we've been trying to save money for these things, but this is really important to me. And she said, I can see it in your eyes, write that check. Mm-hmm. But I did tell him, I was like, look, this is a great way of cutting people off the knees that want change.
Right, because I couldn't write that check.
And I just happened to be able to afford it because I've been squirreling away, right?
Yep.
It's not like I just was like, oh yeah. I mean, I shook when I wrote that check, right? Like my hands were like, I don't even want it. If you see the check, that is not my real handwriting. That is like a scribble,
scared, hands sweating.
And and people who can't afford it, they want the status quo, right? So again, that just goes to like people in these positions of political influencing, or even the politicians themselves, they don't want change.
No.
And I want to bring change.
Yes, and it's very brave.
Thank you.
It's brave and it's needed. It's absolutely needed, and I'm excited for District 14.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about the process from here, since you joined so late and you are a grassroots campaign and you are self-funded.
Yes.
And how does that play for you?
I will say it is been an adventure, right? Trying to get my name out, and like I said earlier, just getting people to give me an interview, or I see articles and I'm I'm definitely in the and also running paragraph, if I even make that paragraph.
Okay.
And some, some articles were like, here are the people who are running, and we interviewed the top 3 campaigns that had the most funding, which I found to be so frustrating, because I'm like, just because they're the most funded doesn't mean they're the best candidate for the position. Where did they get the money? Did they fund it themselves? Do they have super PACs?
Well,
Like,
it's all corporate money,
right,
and then they're tied into what the corporate wants them
that's
to
right,
do.
and most of the time that's it, and like someone had asked me at a fair if I had a super PAC, and I kind of laughed, because like, honestly, I'm not doing this for the money. I do have a donor box on my website, but only because people ask me where to contribute, right? That wasn't why I was running. So I do have it on it, but I told them, I was like, the only people who have donated are friends and family, and it's not, it's a good donation, but it's not. I think I've raised maybe $2,000, and he's like, oh, you have a nano pack. And I was like, yes, I do, and I'm proud of it, because it's not about the money. I'm using my own money.
Yeah.
And so to know that they only have interviewed the most funded, again, goes to not allowing people to have a fully informed
actual voice.
Or
because they don't want us to have a voice.
Right, or to allow the voters to be fully informed.
Yep. They want us to hear what the media has to say about it, see the commercials. Be, oh, I like her. Oh, I saw her sign, so she's branded in my head.
Right.
Even though she doesn't agree with anything that I need.
Right.
She's,
precisely. And so my biggest, besides that check for the pamphlet, my biggest check has been the signs, and it was still only 1,000 signs, because that's what I could afford.
Right.
So it's that is one of the hurdles I've been facing, and not having a tie. So some venues are like, we can't let you come in because, well, some people are afraid to have a political event because of their customers and not wanting to, again,
ties back into the youth, and they don't want to have an opinion because they are afraid.
They don't want to turn away customers because, and I get it and I respect it. But then it also goes to, just being able to get my name out there. And so really, honestly, what I've been doing, like if you've seen some of my videos on my social media, I'm in the car. And the reason why is because I'm in the car. If I'm not in the car, I'm meeting people. Right. And so I get up and I'm out there meeting people, going to different parts of the district, introducing myself, like talking to people, talking to businesses, really just on the ground, boots on the ground. Honestly, that's what I've been doing. And I can pull 14, 16-hour days. I come home, I pass out, and repeat. And again, I'm doing this because I believe the people need change. They deserve
people need change.
Change.
So if the people like your message today and they are willing to contribute, you're taking contributions from $10 to $100. This would be a great point for people to help with the campaign.
Exactly. And
a great price point, not break them, but also buy a few more signs so we can brand your name with.
Yes, and I would be gratefully, very grateful and appreciative. And, when I did that donor box, they said, they gave recommended price points for the 3, and I put them all down. I was like, no, and like some of the candidates have up to $7,500 as their, options. And
that's all corporate money.
Right, but it just goes back to like, I'm not doing this for the money. Honestly, a politician should not be getting rich off of being a politician.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now that we've covered some heavy stuff, what gives you hope about the future of District 14?
I would say the people of District 14. The last month I have met so many people.
Incredible people.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Hardworking, resilient, compassionate, just not wanting to give up. Yep. They have hope, which gives me hope.
Yep.
And it's the people, 100%.
I love that. That's a great answer because not that I'm biased or anything, but the people from here are hardworking, worldly, amazing people.
Absolutely.
All right, Sheriene, we've covered the serious topics. Now it's time for our rapid fire round.
Okay.
So voters can get to know the person behind the campaign.
All right, fair. All right.
Okay, rapid fire. Here we go.
Give it to me.
Okay, coffee or tea?
Oh, coffee.
Favorite place in District 14?
Ooh. You know what? Lake Chabot.
Lake Chabot.
You can find me there walking my dog a lot. Sometimes if I need a good decompress, I'll be there.
Yeah.
the animals, the smell, like just the fresh air. I love geese. It reminds me when I was younger, my mom took me to the park. So even hearing
Yes.
the geese, like kind of just gives me this like warm and fuzzies.
Yes.
So yeah.
I haven't been there in a few years. I should definitely go back. That is a beautiful spot. Favorite local restaurant?
Oh, there's so many. It depends on what type of cuisine I'm craving. Let's be honest. Sometimes
Okay.
we're feeling something other.
Sometimes you want something different.
But no matter where the local businesses, like you get to talk to people and help support.
Yeah.
And the food's amazing.
Yep.
So yeah, you'll find me at local businesses, but restaurants.
Mom and pops.
Yep.
Yep. I love that. Those are the people who are trying so hard to make it anyway. They appreciate your business. Biggest lesson you've learned in life?
Don't give up.
Huh, that's a good one.
There's been so many times in my life that I have fallen down, and that's just being human.
Yep.
But getting up, might take a little, you might not pop up, but, sometimes like when you have an actual, sprained ankle and it takes you a while to get up.
Yes.
It's okay to take a while to get up, but, getting up and brushing it off and learning the lesson that made you trip in the first place or fall, it's okay to acknowledge that you fell, and it's okay to take time to get up.
Yep.
But the resilience of giving up eventually and moving on and taking the next step, that is what I've learned.
I love that. Who inspires you?
My mom.
Your mom.
She's had a hard life, and she's been very selfless as a parent and as a human being. And she's taught me determination. She's taught me resilience.
Yeah.
She's taught me compassion. Throughout all that she went through, she's never lost her compassion. So yeah, I am definitely.
Aw,
Yeah.
that's very sweet. What's one thing people don't know about you?
Well, let's see. Let's see. One thing I would say is I overthink way too much. I think
You need all the facts.
Yes,
You got to read
again,
everything.
It goes back to needing the facts because I really want to make the right decision from anything from like work related to buying a dishwasher because mine recently broke, right? So I was like
You
making
got to
sure.
read on every dishwasher.
Yeah. So I would say I am definitely known to overanalyze. But on the funnier side, I would say I mentioned earlier that I drove a tractor before I drove a car. Not very many people.
Know that you're from a farm.
Yes, or like at a family farm. It's unfortunately, no longer with the family. But yeah, no, I know what it's like to go to the feedlot and do all that and, go to the auction to pick up some sheep or chicks and stuff like that. And so people would not know that if they saw me like just walking around.
Okay. Beach or mountains?
Ooh. Okay. I would say beach. There's something very calming about the sea, the water and the sound of it all. But then again, sometimes when I'm in the mountains and that pine smell, again, I think I'm very much into like calming smells.
Yes. We need to get you an oil diffuser.
Yes. So yeah, beach, but also growing up in Colorado, well, I was there until I was 7. We would sometimes have picnics at Estes Park, and I remember, putting the watermelon in the water so it got cold.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff. So
Very
those are
cool.
memories too that the scents bring out.
So you'll go either way. Favorite book? That's a good one.
Oh, that is a good one. So I used to be an avid reader growing up. Absolutely. Like sometimes my friends would be like going to Miller's Outpost.
I loved Miller's Outpost.
Who did it? But
you
I'll be
could get a whole outfit for $20 back then.
But I'll be like, no, I'm engrossed in this book. I was really into like mysteries, right? Like I would spend a weekend reading. As I've gotten older and all I do is read for a job, sometimes when I'm done with the day, my brain's like, no more reading, just stop, right? But if I do pick up a book, I have noticed myself picking up biographies.
Okay.
And as a history minor, I love history. So like the last one I just read was about Cleopatra.
Oh.
Yes, fascinating
woman.
Jinx.
Yes.
And yeah, so if I found myself leaning more towards those type of books.
Okay. I love that. Always getting the facts.
Yes.
Favorite family tradition?
You know what I would say is before COVID, all of us adults, so there's 3 children, we're all grown, and 2 are married, and one has now a 10-year-old daughter. And, we had to talk about money. And we decided that for holidays, we would no longer, we used to do Secret Santa at a $100 cap. And we decided, you know what, let's pivot. And so we do buy some gifts for my niece, a couple of gifts, not in abundance. But instead of getting each other gifts for the adults, we've decided to do an experience. And it allows us to have a memory.
Yes.
Right? And
yeah,
so
it
varies. And because, we decide to usually do it next spring or something, so it gives us time to pick something and be able to look at prices and all that, like last year, we were able to go to see Cirque du Soleil Echo. And this coming year, this couple months, my niece is really excited. We're going to go see Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, awesome.
Right? And
yes,
so to see her too when she watches things and she glows. And, even as an adult, it's fun.
It is.
So that, I think, is one of my favorite traditions we've decided to do is memories over gifts.
I love that. That's a great, every family should do that. 3 words that describe your vision for District 14.
Ooh. I would say united. Because we really do. We need to unite.
We need to unite.
We absolutely need to unite. Affordable. Going back to being, affordable. Heard.
That's a good one.
Yeah, So united, affordable, and heard. That's what I hope for District 14.
I love that. Well, closing question. If listeners remember only one thing about Sheriene Ridenour after today's conversation, what would you want it to be?
I'm doing this for them.
For the people.
Absolutely for the people.
For all the people.
Yes, all the people. I'm doing it for all the people.
Yes.
Everybody. And so, yeah, I'm hoping that they remember that and they understand that truly. And also, ask, if you see me, ask me a question. I have a magnet on my door of my car. And so, again, like I said, I'm driving around the district all day, every day. If people see me, roll down the window at a stoplight, ask me a question. It's already happened a few times. And I love it.
Yeah.
People have come to me, as I usually have a name badge or a T-shirt, and people have stopped me when I'm walking. They're like, I have a question or I want to say something. And I'm like, go for it. Talk to me.
Sheriene, this was amazing.
Thank
You're
you.
amazing.
Thank
you have my vote.
Thank you. I'm
I
honored.
will continue to spread the word about
Please.
you and encourage people to come talk to you.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you.